Listen, if that's not what you're trying to do, don't get me. If you ain't trying to change the franchise or the culture, don't get me. So you should know history repeats itself over and over and over. And I've done it over and over and over. So it should be no question why an NFL franchise should pick me.
When you know this city loves football, I think you probably have felt that since you've been drafted.
Yeah.
That is what this city is about, the Cleveland Browns. What's kind of that reception been like for you from the fans?
It been extremely well, I would say. I understand. Really, I feel like the Browns fans, they just want something to hope for, and they've been wanting it so long. So finally, I'm here to change that. I'm here to,
Look like Shedeur Sanders just made an incredible announcement. Look like Shedeur Sanders has broken his silence, man. We know the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns has not really been online that much this season. Shedeur has definitely been locked in. Well, I'm here to tell you, he took to Twitter today to drop a profound...
Mito, this is Shedeur essentially saying, I'm done fighting. In every way. I'm done fighting.
Waving a white flag?
I'm done fighting with the media. I'm done fighting with my coaches. I'm done fighting with Rex Ryan on Get Up. I'm done fighting with y'all on social media. I'm done fighting. Because whenever somebody brings up, like he said, the true success is built on God, and God's the one who can open all these doors. Is this Shedeur James Jones kind of just saying, I'm done?
Shedeur Sanders just broke his silence, and wow, he did not hold back. This wasn't some soft media-trained, I'm staying humble type of talk. Nah, he came in blazing hotter than Dion's game day shades. For weeks, fans have been whispering, debating, and flat out arguing about why he hasn't been getting those snaps. Well, now Shedeur is setting the record straight. Raw, bold, and just a touch of shade thrown in every direction. This isn't a locker room update anymore. It's a statement.
The narrative around Shedeur Sanders is changing. And Shedeur Sanders dropped a tweet yesterday, made the internet go berserk. But we're going to talk about it real quick. And I told y'all the Browns starting to switch up. Everybody getting ready for Shedeur. But I'm going to tell you what y'all know I got that guy. Him, Mr. Sanders. Currently the backup quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, right behind Lil Dylan. We got to give Dylan his respect because he is the starting quarterback. Only because this man, Kevin Stefanski, has a whole lot of faith in something that we just can't see.
And oh, it gets juicier. From quiet tension in team meetings to those so-called coaches' favorite rumors that have been circling like vultures, he's talking about all of it. The kind of behind-the-scenes drama that turns a Sunday game into a full-blown soap opera. You better grab your popcorn because this right here isn't just football anymore. It's personal. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you think because wow, the Cleveland Browns have somehow managed to turn a quarterback situation into a full-on identity crisis. The same team that once thought Johnny Manziel was the future is now spinning through quarterbacks like it's an open tryout for a reality show called Who Wants to Waste a Franchise Talent? And right in the middle of this madness, Shedeur Sanders, calm, collected, and clearly too cool for the circus around him. The Browns should have learned by now, every decade they find a golden arm, hype him up like the next big thing, then burn his career down with the same trust the process nonsense. But not Shedeur. He's not begging for a spotlight, not throwing sideline tantrums, not feeding the noise. He's sitting back, confident, like a man who already knows what's written for him. And that script says, your moment's coming. The rest of them just haven't caught up yet. Because Shedeur Sanders isn't waiting for his shot, he is the storm quietly building behind the glass. He's like that calm dude in the back seat during a road trip, the one who knows he could drive better, but lets the clown behind the wheel find out the hard way, while the coaches keep arguing about schemes and system fits. Shedeur's just there, mastering the art of divine patience, something the Browns organization couldn't spell even if you gave them the first 6 letters. Because this whole thing, it's way bigger than football. This isn't about play calling or locker room drama anymore. It's a spiritual test dressed up as a football season.
We know what Shedeur is. We know who he is. What type of player and person that he is. But yesterday, Shedeur Sanders dropped a tweet. And the world went bananas. Those are facts. As the son of a preacher, as a preacher's kid, as a child that has lived multiple facets of life that has done a lot of wrong and a lot of right.
While everyone else is out here counting stats and stressing over snaps, Shedeur's counting blessings. He's not just waiting for a chance to play, he's letting faith call the plays. That's power. That's peace. And honestly, that's what scares Cleveland's front office the most. How do you control a player who doesn't let pressure live rent-free in his mind? He's not up at 2 a.m. scrolling social media, searching for validation, or sneak-liking cryptic posts. He's not subtweeting coaches or doing moody interviews that sound like hidden therapy sessions. Nah, Shedeur is on a whole different frequency, smiling, training early, walking out of the facility like a man who already knows the ending because he's seen it. And spoiler alert, he wins. That's the kind of quiet confidence that drives execs crazy. The Browns brass just can't process that level of chill. They're wired on panic energy, the kind that screams, "We drafted you to fix 40 years of bad decisions." But Shedeur, he's not built to carry that old baggage. He's too locked in on a bigger mission, one that doesn't end at the 50-yard line, but stretches far beyond it, into destiny territory. When Shedeur talks about trusting God, he's not just throwing around church words to sound deep. He means it. He's living it every single day. And when you think about that in the wild world of Cleveland football, it's almost shocking. While the execs are buried in spreadsheets, breaking down fourth down stats and probability charts, Shedeur's running his own kind of analytics.
Speaks to, and again, it does not bother me in any sort of large way, but what it does speak to is they continue to put all of the eggs in the Dillon Gabriel basket. And they have not been shy about that in any sort of way. And that's it's not surprising to me. No part of this is surprising because this is how they've treated Dillon the entire time. He's always gotten the favorite child treatment, the golden child treatment, and that's okay. They've decided to do that. But to what you're saying, then you have to be right about this guy, and he's got to be better than what you've seen. And again, like, do I think Shedeur, when he wins the job eventually, is going to turn around and be like, "Oh, thank goodness I had those 10% of reps as the back"? No, I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. That's why I'm not losing.
Faith analytics. He's measuring peace per prayer, tracking gratitude reps like it's game film. That's not just discipline. That's spiritual swagger. Honestly, the Browns could use some of that energy. Maybe if the front office trusted the divine half as much as they trust their data charts, they wouldn't keep fumbling away their future every few seasons. Because here's the truth. Shedeur's built different. He sees disrespect from a mile away, but he's wise enough to let it slide when it's not worth the fight. That kind of balance, being aware, calm, and in control, makes people uneasy. It's power disguised as patience. He could easily go viral overnight if he wanted to. One passive-aggressive Instagram story, one cryptic quote post, and the entire sports media would melt down before breakfast. But he doesn't take that route. Instead, he stays focused. Head down, smile on, working in silence while the world talks. He's letting his grind and apparently his divine timing do all the speaking for him. And here's the crazy part. The Browns don't know how to handle peace. It's like chaos is built into their DNA. The moment things start looking calm, they find new ways to stir up a storm. It's almost tradition at this point. So when Shedeur walks in with that smooth, unbothered confidence, when he refuses to feed into the drama machine, it short-circuits the whole system. Cleveland's front office runs on chaos, ego, and panic.
Gabriel's going to be the guy going forward. Shedeur Sanders didn't get in the game when they were up 31-6. Yeah. It was game over. Yeah. They were up 31-6, and then if y'all remember in the loss 2 weeks prior, Shedeur didn't get into the game when they were losing clearly and handily. Yeah. I think Shedeur just now realizes the Browns don't want me to play. They are not playing me under any circumstance.
Yeah. The Dolphins had their backup in the game. Why would you not?
Correct.
Yeah, it made no sense.
Well, that's because Shedeur's a different backup.
But Shedeur's engine, it runs on something completely different. Purpose. It's not adrenaline driving Shedeur, it's faith. While everyone else is overanalyzing stats and panicking over his bench time, he's out here mastering the rarest skill in sports, the art of patience. That kind of calm doesn't come from confidence alone, it comes from knowing you're spiritually undefeated. You can see it in his body language, sitting on that sideline like a man holding a secret. Because to him, this isn't a setback. It's setup season. Every snap he's not taking right now is building suspense, turning pressure into prophecy. Every doubt whispered by analysts and fans is quietly getting added to his future highlight reel. You can already imagine it. Slow motion shots of him in warm-ups, sweat glistening under the lights, voiceovers about untapped potential echoing in the background. The camera pans in, dramatic gospel chords swell, and then boom. Touchdown, destiny confirmed. Suddenly, everyone who questioned him will be pretending they always believed. That's how poetic this comeback's gonna be.
And I've learned through it all is to not worry, but lean on and trust God in every situation. Even when I don't know what to do, I've learned that God will always guide. What Shedeur Sanders stated, a profound message from rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Now, we know he has been going through trials and tribulations since pretty much the draft night, man. For this young man to still be focused, not letting anything bother him, not letting anything tear his ship down. I commend Shedeur as a fan and definitely as a supporter of his. I want him to keep doing what he's doing. His time will come, and boy, oh boy, it's always going to be.
Meanwhile, somewhere in the executive box, the Browns are probably having yet another strategy meeting, which in Cleveland terms means 12 confused people nodding while the owner stares at an old scouting report like it's a crossword puzzle. They're trying to decode their own mess while Shedeur's out there creating his masterpiece in silence. Every single rep, every quiet hour after practice, every note from film study, it's sharpening him. You can see it, that unbothered smirk when reporters bring up competition. It's not arrogance, it's assurance. That inner peace only shows up when you're aligned with something way bigger than a playbook. The Browns, they're too busy drawing depth charts, rearranging pieces that never seem to fit. But Shedeur, he's making destiny charts. They're planning for a season. He's preparing for a legacy. And when those two timelines finally crash into each other, it's going to be beautiful chaos. The kind of redemption Cleveland hasn't felt since the day LeBron came home. Because here's the truth. You can hide potential for a while, but you can't bury greatness forever. Eventually, diamonds always find the light. Eventually, even the most lost organization will have to face reality. They've been sitting on a once-in-a-generation competitor who handles adversity like a monk in cleats. The man's built for the NFL spotlight, but with the patience of someone who's already seen the ending and knows how it plays out.
A bit over a long time does make a big difference, though. Especially if you're not a first-round quarterback. No, if you're just a rookie. I mean, I'd like to see him play. I'd like to see him have the opportunity to go through some of those reps just from the speed component to it all. I think there's an obvious advantage to that. It's going to be better than him just sitting on the sidelines. But again, this speaks to them putting all their eggs in the Dillon Gabriel basket with the idea that they think it's more valuable for Dillon to get all of them, and they just don't have enough reps.
And when that moment finally comes, when the Browns realize what's been right in front of them this whole time, all that noise, the disrespect, the headlines, the he's not ready yet chatter will vanish faster than a Cleveland playoff run. Because Shedeur's maturity isn't weakness, it's weaponized patience. He's not ignoring the politics, he's outgrowing them. While others chase cameras, he's mastering silence. They expect ego, he brings discipline. They expect outrage, he brings scripture. They want a reaction, he offers revelation. It's like watching chaos square up against serenity, and serenity just smirks. You can almost feel the tension shifting. Coaches start to sense it, reporters begin asking those careful, loaded questions, fans start whispering in the stands. That's how momentum builds. Slow, silent, unstoppable. And then, before the front office can cook up another PR spin about competition, the narrative flips completely. The guy they benched becomes the story they can't escape. That's the secret power of patience. And it doesn't yell, it doesn't beg, it just waits, then dominates. Because soon enough, Cleveland's gonna realize what they mistook for passivity was actually a masterclass in control. Shedeur's not out here chasing moments, he's creating them. And when his time finally hits, it's going to expose every ounce of the Browns' indecision for what it is. Pure amateur hour.
Shedeur, I promise you, that stadium and that team and that offense, whether it goes great or it doesn't, at very least, you're going to get the Jackson Dart effect that the Giants had.
That's a good.
In New York, where they said, all right, we got a shot. I believe in this guy.
You got to do it at home right now. You got a home game.
A winnable home.
It's a winnable home game. If Dillon do play, is the crowd going to come in the game like, if Shedeur plays, it's going to be lit up in there.
Yeah, it will be.
You know what I'm saying?
It will be.
Defense going to come flying around. Man, it's the perfect time to start you a little streak if you want to start you a little.
They could have avoided all this by recognizing greatness early, but come on. This is Cleveland we're talking about. The franchise that treats self-sabotage like a family tradition. They're allergic to simple solutions. And while they keep tripping over their own playbook, Shedeur's quietly writing history. Give the Browns peace. They'll find a way to turn it into drama. Hand them pure talent. They'll build tension out of thin air. Drop a quarterback in their lap who's spiritually grounded, calm, and focused, and they'll mistake it for lack of urgency. That's just how it goes in Cleveland, where emotional stability lasts about as long as a halftime lead. It's almost a sport of its own. But Shedeur, he's built different. He's not matching their chaos with chaos. He's mastering the art of stillness. He'll wait. He'll keep trusting, keep preparing, and keep letting the madness spin around him like background noise bouncing off a wall of faith. Because deep down, he knows something the Browns front office clearly doesn't. Every storm eventually runs out of thunder. And when it does, the only thing still standing is whatever was grounded from the start. And that's Shedeur Sanders. Grounded, unbothered, divinely patient, and more than ready. The Browns can play politics all they want, shuffle their quarterback depth charts, and act like this is some fair competition. But when purpose decides it's go time, it won't ask for permission. It'll walk onto that field, strap up, and flip the whole script without warning.
Stefanski is fighting for his job life by trying to cling to Dillon Gabriel, who was his choice to go forward with, because he took him 50 slots higher than Shedeur went in the 5th round. So Stefanski knows if he gives in to Shedeur, I think he's a goner. You know, like that's going to be the end of him, because he's dug in internally with the owner and the GM that he just wants no part of Shedeur. He doesn't like him. He doesn't like the way he handles himself. He doesn't like the way he carries himself in the locker room and the social media and all those things that nobody liked about him, or a lot of, you know.
They think they're controlling the situation, but really they're just stalling the inevitable, because destiny doesn't wait on approval. It moves when it's time, and no amount of front office confusion can stop what's already been written. No matter how long they try to hold him back, Shedeur's story was crafted by something and someone far bigger than Cleveland. You can see it in his peace, his focus, that quiet fire that doesn't need a microphone. And if you've been paying attention, you already know how this one ends. Not in bitterness, not in revenge, but in victory. A victory wrapped in peace, fueled by purpose, and sealed with that trademark Sanders calm. While the world scrambles for answers, Shedeur already found his, and it's rooted in the simplest, sharpest truth there is. God's got it. That's it. No drama, no panic, no overthinking, just faith in motion. You'd think after all the heartbreak this franchise has put its fans through, someone in that building would finally say, maybe we should stop forcing it. But nope. They're still tinkering, still second-guessing, still treating pure talent like it's some complicated riddle they just can't solve. Meanwhile, Shedeur's just over there vibing, peaceful, consistent, focused, completely unbothered. The whole franchise is out here playing chess with chaos, while he's sitting in the middle of it all like a monk in cleats, calm, grounded, and smiling, because he already knows how this story ends. Because when your faith is stronger than their confusion, there is no competition. You can't rattle a man who already gave control to something bigger than the game. And that's what makes him dangerous. It's not just his arm strength or his precision, it's his peace. That quiet, unshakable calm that doesn't crack under pressure. It absorbs it. Every slight, every delay, every not yet from the coaching staff doesn't break him. It builds him. You can almost feel the energy shifting because the Browns think they're testing his patience. But the truth, he's testing theirs. How long can they keep pretending not to see what's right in front of them?
All of us keep getting at the same question, and none of us have the answers. So maybe you could give us the answer. Why aren't you getting any reps with the ones at this point?
I don't think that's not my place, you know, to answer, to even be able to give the answer to that. I feel like it's not in my control, so I'm not even gonna think about that or have that even in my thought process of why it is. Like, there's a lot of people that want to have the opportunity to be at this level, and I'm here, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity. So
how long can they act blind to the fact that this man's presence is exactly what their locker room's been starving for? Shedeur's not waiting for approval. He's waiting for alignment, because when purpose and timing meet, there's no stopping what follows. And make no mistake, when that moment finally comes, it won't feel like a debut. It'll feel like a correction, like the universe finally balancing the scales. Let them keep hiding behind excuses, but system fit, readiness, development, because when that dust clears and the lights hit that field, Shedeur won't just step into a position, he'll step straight into purpose. And that kind of purpose doesn't need to scream. It doesn't beg, and it never breaks. It just shows up, delivers, and lets destiny finish the job. And when that happens, Cleveland won't just gain a quarterback, they'll witness a revelation. If you're still watching, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And I'll see you on the next one.